volunteer life. She said, we don't have any idea about COVID, what the side effects are. I'd like to call the order of the Pleasant Grove City Council in this, our work session on this Tuesday, July the 5th, 2022. And we have 4 of our council members here. We're missing one who is out of town. So we welcome all our staff that has joined us and also the public members who have joined us. Our first item this evening for our work session is to have the rec center staff come forward for a presentation. So come forward, Andy. And
thank you, Mayor and Council, for having us here this evening. We have this opportunity to recognize one of our outstanding community volunteers that we have here in Pleasant Grove. Here in Pleasant Grove, we belong to an organization called the Central Utah Recreation and Parks Association. And every year, that body recognizes outstanding citizen volunteers from each of the cities here in the area. We put on a big barbecue for them, so we got a steak dinner and everything for them, and we also award them with a nice plaque to go along with this. So Andy's going to give you a little bit of an introduction as to what our outstanding volunteer has done.
I will not tone it down. I absolutely will not. Hello, Mayor, Council. We are so excited to introduce Gene Jensen. So, he's very humbled and doesn't like all the attention that I've shamelessly given him throughout this process. But Gene has been awarded the Outstanding Volunteer Citizen Award because he goes above and beyond. He is a huge part of our community. Almost everyone knows him. If you don't know him, everyone should get to know him. And also the heart of our senior fitness community. He comes there early, he sets up everyone's chairs and equipment, and he is the last one to go because he is doing the same thing, picking everything up. And when I asked him if he was okay with this attention, he said, I'm just doing what anyone should do. If I see a need, I just do it. But we find that really outstanding, and we just wanted to recognize him for it. And he also recently deadlifted.
It wasn't deadlifting, it was a thing called rack pull, 500 pounds.
500 pounds for his most recent birthday, which also is pretty amazing.
I actually did it again this morning.
He did it again today, so, but yeah. So Gene Jensen.
would you like to make some remarks?
No, I'm not into speaking.
Okay.
I would say something to Sid. You probably don't remember me, but I remember you. quite a
How's that?
Quite a few years ago, you were running for, I think, mayor at that time. But anyway, what I remember about you is we were talking, and I told you that I work out in the rec center, and you talked about you go up there a lot. So I said, well, I'll start looking for you. Do you know how many pretty blondes there are with their hair in ponytails?
Well, I appreciate you looking for me, so.
There's a social media campaign there.
Pretty Blondes at the Rec Center. Well, thank you for all you've done to, you just want to do this because you love Pleasant Grove and want to help out?
I do it just because, as I told her, if I see something that needs to be done, you just do it. That's the way I've always been.
How long have you lived in Pleasant Grove?
6 years.
Okay.
We moved in here 6 years ago and immediately started going to the rec center. And that's been my home for 6 years,
Well, I
2
appreciate
hours
you.
every day.
Well, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we have a gift for you, a special, one of our city puzzles that's one of the commemorative puzzles here, if you want to come and, we probably want to get a picture with you.
I see that on the wall up there. Yeah.
No. Actually, it's kind of funny that we're the same height. The fact that
Thank you.
Scott is
Thank you so
taking
much,
that picture is just
Thank
funny.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jean.
Thank you. Hey, come on.
Yeah, right down the line. Thank you.
Yes, we do.
The Danes and the Swedes.
The Danes, yeah.
Well, that's a perfect way to start.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Now to move to our next item on our work session, our library board update. So if we could have our library board come up and.
Hi. We just brought a few of us from the library board, so. I'm Emily Hammerstead from the library board, and this is.
Camille Davis.
Barry Lund.
And you guys get to hear about the regular stuff at the library, so we thought we would do something different today, and instead tell you why we think the library is important to our community. So I'm going to tell my library story. A few weeks ago, I opened up a brand new business here on Main Street. It's a kids' art studio, and as I was working in it, I started to just have this flashback memory of this book from my childhood. And all I could remember is that it had a parrot on the cover and that it talked about the color olive. That's all I could remember, and I knew I loved it. I remember reading it over and over. It was all about colors, and obviously I'm in an art studio, so I really wanted to find it, and I looked everywhere. And one day I was asking Sherry, is there like a different resource I can use to try to find this book? And she said, yeah, ask one of the librarians. So that night, I asked one of the librarians. I gave her all those details. That's all I had. And she sent me an email the next morning. Is this the book? And I literally started crying. I didn't think I'd be able to find it. She found it for me, so I just think our libraries are important. They help connect us back to our childhood and to the things that are important to us. So that's my library moment. And now we're gonna hear another one.
Anything you need, we'll get it to you for the library board after that. I'm like, no, no. Thank you for sharing that, Emily.
So I joined the library board a couple of months ago, and they asked me to share part of the reasons why I did that. I work at Brigham Young University, and you're familiar with the devotionals and forums that they have there. One presented, I think, in February of this year was by James and Deborah Fallows, authors of a book called Our Town. In there's a chapter that talks about, and in their presentation that they gave, the significance of libraries in towns across America. We all know who first responders are, but they referred to libraries as the second responders, places where people, the communities could organize, where resources were mustered, where many, many things took place that strengthened the community in many, many ways. And they mentioned library boards, and I thought, gee, I didn't know that such a thing even existed. So I looked into it here in Pleasant Grove. I've been here for 9 years. I was intrigued by the possibilities, so I applied online. I should also mention that part of my fascination and love with libraries extends to my grandchildren. We have 14, and we've had a reading program with them for about 12, maybe 13 years. And that reading program is that we will pay them, winds up being me that pays them, but anyway, a penny per page for regular books. And if they're picture books that somebody reads to them, $1 a book. And so at the end of the summer, it has to be something that's read during the summer after school's out. And I have been known to pay over $65, that's 6,500 pages to one grandchild because of reading. And we and our children and children-in-law strongly believe that reading is a really important part of education. And so just because it's summertime doesn't mean we don't read. So that's my library story.
Fantastic.
Well, that was it. We just wanted to tell you guys the library is awesome. Thanks for letting us share.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
We appreciate everything you guys do.
A penny a page or $1 a book?
Okay, we will now move to our staff reports. And Neil, do you want to come up forward and tell us about all the good things that are going on in Public Works?
A lot of good things every day. It's hot, it's dry, and people are using their water right now. So this is a critical time for us as a city and us as a community. We have shifted gears from, runoff, and we are now using water from the reservoirs. And people are now in full gear of watering their lawns at all times. So we've upped our flow from our pipelines and from our sources to try and keep our ponds full. And we struggle with that on a day-to-day basis to meet the demand. Our enforcement people are out and finding people who are using water on the incorrect days. We're issuing warnings. We're having good discussions. Some people are not as willing and not as receptive to the message. And so we're having conversations that include fines at some point with repeat offenders. But for the most part, people are receptive to the message and are complying once they find out that we are watching. So the good news is moving forward in the next little while, we'll be able to have better monitoring through meters and be able to model the system and know exactly what and when and where and how, not from a perspective of wondering what individuals are doing, but just from an overall system evaluation. So that's going on right now with the temperatures and the dry weather. The Boulevard well is being developed right now, and all things point to a good well. I've given you that message all along the way, and each step has a portion that gives us an indicator of what it's going to be like, and right now it's still looking really good. Test pump in the next couple of weeks, and then from there it's pretty much complete until we outfit it with the engines and the pumps and go from there, the motors. That's the report I have so far. Discovery Park saw its concrete go in, and it was poured out, and now they're finishing it up, troweling it off.
That's just the tennis court.
The tennis courts, yep, the tennis courts, and then they had to get that one done, and then they'll prep the other side because they had to drive across the other one to get that ready. But next week, we'll look for a pour on the pickleball portion of it.
You heard anything from our county public works director?
I've sent 2 messages since our last meeting, and I have had 0 response, both in email and in text. Zero response.
Okay. So, well, we'd get with our one county commissioner, but we'd probably get 0 response from him too, so we need to give Amelia a call and see where she was at with it. I've talked to her about it, but, okay, we'll see what,
Okay,
we'll work it from our end.
thank you.
Okay. Chief Roberts.
Mayor and Council, 4th of July went well for us. We had quite a few calls. We collected quite a few illegal fireworks along the path of the night. No injuries as far as as reported to me. We got quite a few upset dog owners that called in, and we were very sympathetic to their phone calls. Unfortunately, there was nothing we could do for them. But as far as the police department goes, July 9th is Sergeant James Oliver's last shift with us, so we're gonna be looking to set up a testing process for a new sergeant and also a new hire. On the police department front, next Tuesday night at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 6:30, we will be having a get together at Grove Station. So we'll be having members of the police department meeting at Grove Station with the food trucks and a group of people there, just kind of doing a question and answer type of thing, and hopefully we get some people down there that are interested in.
So when is that?
Next Tuesday night.
12?
Yes, ma'am. From 5 to 6:30. Yeah, we'll have that posted on our Facebook page, and then it'll also be posted on Grove Station's Facebook page as well. Then we're working in conjunction with the fire department to do something in the next couple of weeks in the city park here, along with them, and we'll get that information out as we go. We're just kind of trying to work out the logistics on that right now, so we'll get that together. And then on July 27th, we will start our next Citizens Academy, so that'll be a 9-week deal, and we've kind of changed the itinerary of that around a little bit, so it'll be a little more interesting, a little more entertaining. But
And how can people sign up for that now?
we'll have it on Facebook probably by the end of this week. Carl took the day off today for the 4th, so we'll have that up and running. That's all I have.
Anything for the chief?
Thank you.
Okay. Chief Ingerman. You know, I didn't hear a lot of sirens yesterday.
Yeah, we're busy. It's, between that and today, it's just kind of one of those crazy times. I don't know what it is. Nothing specific, but just falls, sick, heart attack, whatever it may be, accidents. And so, yeah, it's just going. We've had, I think, 6 calls today already since 9 this morning. So, just,
Wow.
you know, good stuff. Like Neil said, hot and dry. We've been lucky, you know, with a lot of stuff. Fireworks went off good last night. Afterwards, Chief Larson and me, we kind of patrolled a little bit that east side to see if we had any issues with people doing fireworks, and they were really good. People were not doing anything. It was like really quiet. So the public's been really awesome with this whole fireworks thing, at least on that east side, where we haven't had any issues with people lighting them in bad areas and stuff like that. So which is great for us. Like I said, just busy. You know, we're short a guy. We have, I think, 35 applicants right now to test. I know we have a couple wildland guys. One's an engine boss, if I remember right. But we're gonna do some testing the next couple weeks and see what we get. No paramedics in this whole group, but we do have a couple that are in school or getting ready to go to school, so that'd be a bonus, depending on how that works out for us. But so we'll do that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, go through that process and see what we end up with, what kind of a list we come out of that, and at least get back to full staff, you know, within the next month or so. Other than that, really not a lot. I don't know who I got a text from Sid knows somebody got a text from, I don't know what it was, but we had a bicycle accident just a week ago. This last Sunday, week from last Sunday on the road. And I know the one in the,
Canal or on the road?
right on the canal, right where it goes down into the tunnel, just as you go into Cedar Hills, there, right there. I got there a little bit after the fact, after the first patient had already been transported, but the first patient was 60-year-old gentleman, but he passed away that afternoon, I think, or that next day. And it was my understanding, talking to the medic, I haven't personally found out, but just talking to the medics, the other person I thought had passed away also. They both hit, and it was a pretty good accident, it sounded like.
So they have a head-on, or what?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird spot, depending on the time of day or the morning, where that sun's coming up. From what people have told me, that way that sun comes up, and as you coming out of the canal or into the canal, you kind of get blinded just for a second from going in there. And some of those guys get clipping along pretty good on that canal road there. And so they hit pretty good. And I know one guy had helmet, but I thought they both had helmets. I'm not 100%, but I know the one gentleman did. But it's still, I think it was just bad enough where, yeah, you don't want to see that. But it's kind of one of those things you don't want to see or hear. But so, other than that, like I say, just busy trying to keep up with stuff. And brush truck should be coming. Hopefully, we'll cross our fingers this month. They keep delaying it with chassis. Everybody's waiting for a chassis, so who knows, but still there. So, and we're looking to, like I say, work on our wildland stuff, try to find an engine boss, whether it's a part-time seasonal guy or someone we can hire full-time. But we'll see about that as things go along. But other than that, just
Okay.
getting after it.
Lannis did a great job on the fireworks last night.
Yeah, they did awesome. Everything went off smooth. I talked to Mark afterwards, and they had no bad shots. Everything went off good, and everything was clean, and, they were happy with, they set up the night before. They actually set up Sunday night. And they said, thank you for letting us do that. A lot better than middle of the day setting up in the, heat of the sun all day long. So they had that all set up ready to go, but everything went off with a hitch. No issues in the park, really, and we didn't have anything significant at all this week. Had a little fire over at Turley from fireworks, but other than that, nothing significant. So we've been
Okay.
Injury or a bad firework or
fireworks. Just
early?
yeah, I got into a big bush. I think between or next to one of the mobile homes in there, and I think it scared a lot of people, which rightfully so. But it was a pretty decent sized bush, so it kind of got the attention of a few people. But everything ended up being fine. So.
Well, it was really cool to see, just at all of the events, just the police and fire personnel just out in force. It was just
Yeah.
very nice.
It's fun. It's a busy week. I mean, between that, strawberry days, all that stuff. It's great getting out there. But yeah, it gets busy, gets hot, and love to do it. But yeah, it's fun. So
Okay, thanks, Chief.
thanks.
Dion, what's going on in the parks? Trying to keep the grass green.
Yeah, we're using Neil's water. Trying to fix heads, things like that. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing right now. We had a pretty good turnout in all of our parks for fireworks, even though they're not allowed and they were signed. But we did pick up quite a few this morning and throughout the day. It's a good weekend. Like everybody said, it was a lot of participants out in all the different areas of the city. But yeah, Neil kind of stole my thunder on the pour, but it looked really good. They were a little worried about getting staff in to work today after a holiday. That's why they had the 9 o'clock pour instead of a 5 o'clock pour. So next week, they'll plan on a 5 o'clock pour. So, yes, 5 a.m.
No.
Beep, beep.
Well, he probably still got woke up.
That's all I had.
So, Dion, how far out do they have to reserve all the pavilions reserved?
We had quite a few pavilions reserved this last weekend. We had one cancellation, but yeah, we're chock full. We just barely got our reservation list for this week from Andrea up at the rec, and it's pretty much nonstop at all the locations. So the pool's real busy. Both those pavilions are reserved quite a bit. So.
Well, you couldn't see much water out to Manila Park out there. I mean, out to the because of all this, everybody that was in the water out there, so anyway,
Yeah,
it was a big crowd.
Manila Creek's been really busy with this heat. It always gets real busy with the heat, so
And then,
it's a good place.
Yeah, I just asked, but the one pavilion there by the Discovery Park looked like it was a retail center. I don't know if you saw that, they were selling cotton candy and everything else out of there, so it's,
They may have been, I don't know. Something to look at maybe next year.
but maybe that was a family, maybe it was just a family thing anyway, but anyway, I
Yeah.
thought, wow, okay.
Okay,
Hey, thank you.
Yep.
Daniel?
Mayor, Council, I had the opportunity to meet with the Historic Preservation Commission. Is that their name? And we had a very good meeting where we had some things to do, and we agree on a couple things that we're going to work together. So it was a very useful meeting, if I may say it like that. So we're planning on probably, they meet once a month, right? So maybe I'll meet once each other month, so 1 month and then not the next one and so on. So we'll keep the communication open. So next planning commission, we have 15 items. It's gonna be a busy planning commission meeting. And talking about the planning commission, we have for the next city council during work session, hopefully we have a joint meeting with the planning commission where we're gonna make a presentation about the results that we have with all the information we collected from the public, and we're gonna start drafting the general plan. So we got all the information we think we needed, and there's definitely a direction where, according to what we have, we're gonna go, but we wanna present it to you, to the mayor and the city council and the planning commission, before we start drafting some language for the general plan. And we'll do that for the working session on the 19th. So that's what I have, Mayor and Council.
Anybody have anything else for Daniel? No. Thanks, Daniel.
My pleasure.
Sherry? Hey, we started with the library board, we'll end with you. On directors, anyway.
We're active in our program time. We're doing average of 12 programs a week. And this week we've got that plus a Arts Commission program happening in the library this week. So 13 programs in the library this week. So it's the busy time for us, but it's going well. We're good.
Are your numbers up from like in comparison to pre-COVID?
No.
We're still not up?
Nope. No, and it's been an odd year that way. We've had the same number or more sign up, but the attendance has not been as high. And we're trying to figure it out. Last year we did them all in parks, partly because of COVID, and actually had better attendance. So maybe we'll want to go back to that. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll evaluate, but
I was talking to a mom, I was talking to a teacher of K through 3. That's where she's been her whole career. And she said because of COVID, the kids are 2 years behind.
oh,
And it would be fun to run something to help those parents that need to have their kids caught up.
yeah. We do have the literacy center,
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe some other things that would help. That's a good idea.
Okay, thank you. Denise, anything in our financial world that we,
No, I got the budget put in there, so we can all
okay.
get projects done, but yeah.
Kathy, do you have anything? So, Dina?
No, just to report, our cleaning up of our files is continuing, and Karen has gotten rid of about 70 old boxes of files, so. What? Pretty good about that. Wow.
So did you just call in the shredder truck? Is that what you're doing? They take care of it?
That's all my life.
Uh,
You just shredded all my life.
Shredded your life.
Yes,
That's what, probably a good thing.
that is a good thing, yes. Just don't even look at them, just,
It's just not in a box.
yeah, just, don't even look at them if it's got my name on, just shred it.
That's impressive, 70.
Yeah, she's done a great job.
So, we welcome Kara here this evening, but have you don't have anything for us tonight? It makes me wonder how the parade went in Kanab yesterday with their their city manager, so sure everything went well and.
120 degrees.
120. Well, sometimes they don't have so.
You might be a little busy his first day.
Yeah.
There, there's no telephone service down there.
By the way, just, there was a young 8-year-old girl that was killed in the parade up in Kaysville.
Kaysville.
And then
Yeah.
So she did
Right
pass
over
away.
by
She did pass
Hummer,
away.
and the
And also,
trailer rig was
Centerville, evacuated 100 homes.
the Hummer was pulling the trailer. They had all these kids
So
sitting in
I
the
think we
trailer
were really blessed.
and they were walking,
That was up on the foothill there.
whoever it was.
Okay, Eric, do you have any,
I think
Bling,
Hummer
wanna-
was up high, couldn't see this girl.
nothing?
Drove,
Diana?
they ran
I'm just
over
gonna do a
it,
big shout out for Follow the Flag.
going, and then the
That
trailer
was
ran
an
over.
amazing program. I don't know if anybody
yelling
was
stuff.
there. It
By
was
then he'd got over.
inspiring. Boyd Matheson told four stories that were all related to people doing really good things in Pleasant Grove. And it was just, it was inspiring. I was in tears. The flag coming down, the flyovers. It was just, it was a perfect day.
Did you watch the F-35s go
Yes,
over?
I did.
They were impressive.
That was impressive.
They flew over Saturday night too, just before but they weren't as close to the mountains on Saturday night, going down to the Stadium of Fire.
Yep.
Boy.
10:09 on the
They were on they were on the dot. Those are beautiful planes, I'll tell you, so. Yeah. Brett?
No, I don't have anything.
Well, our long-lost visitor the last couple of weeks, Sid, do you have anything for us?
Ciao. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed meetings. I was picking my son up from study abroad in Italy and visiting family, so. But it was good to be back in America for 4th of July. So very grateful for where I live, but thanks for your patience and letting me be gone and miss a couple meetings, so I appreciate that, so.
Okay. Well, the 2 times I've spent a lot of time out of the country, it really makes you hold on tight to that U.S. passport and think, wow, not many people have this. And we're definitely a blessed country and grateful for the 4th of July and for bring families together, and we celebrate our independence, and it's just a great day. A lot of good things going on in our city, and just like Boyd Matheson said, he says it's a great community. A lot of good people doing a lot of good things. So
I don't know
anyway,
what the official head count was, but I'm thinking it was.
it was probably pushing.
thousands.
Well, it's probably 2,000 to 3,000.
That's what I'm thinking.
But
And
anyway.
all of those cars were parked in the east side of Pleasant Grove.
And a lot of people walk. Some people came by bikes.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I ran along 13th East for quite a while. There was parking all the way to Center Street on 13th East, both sides, all the way to Center, and then the north side. It was just
Oh, really?
packed.
It was. So it's a great thing. We thank the Foxes and hey, we thank Sid for being one of the first people who helped put the anchors in up there on the first. So that's quite. So
I think the first year there was about 12 of us in the parking lot with camp chairs.
that was it, huh?
That was about it.
Okay,
And
so we'll
now
change
it's
that.
probably thousands, so it's awesome.
So, okay. Well, Scott, do you want to go over our next council meeting?
Yeah, just a few items. So for our July 19th meeting, as Daniel mentioned, our work session will be dedicated to a joint meeting with the Planning Commission to discuss the results of the work of the consultants on the general plan. So what they'll do is go over some information with you and get some feedback from the council and from the Planning Commission before they start drafting the general plan. So we'll spend a good hour on that. That's our intention. As of right now, we don't have any other work session items, and our plan is to keep it that way.
I will be out of town. I will be in Hawaii, so I would love to, though, to be part of that meeting.
Okay, you want us to Zoom you in? Okay. We'll make a note of that and get that situated. We have that evening, our city council regular session. We have our boundary adjustment that we've talked about recently. It keeps getting put off, but we're going to have it for the 19th. We also have our bylaws for our local building authority. The local building authority is the mechanism in which we're working with Health Center Theater to do the bonding for that theater. So we do need to, it used to be called a Municipal Building Authority or an MBA. Now it's a LBA, a Local Building Authority. We've already adopted that a month or two ago, the organization part of that, and we do need to adopt some bylaws. So Tina will, you're gonna be gone. She'll be gone for that meeting, but we will have that reviewed with you. And also, a part of that is we will have our parameters resolution to, which is the first step for the bonding that we'll need to do for Health Center Theater. So our financial consultant will be here. They'll go over that, and then if the council adopts the parameters resolution, then we'll have a public hearing soon after, and we'll figure out what date that's going to be, and then we'll be able to proceed on getting the bonds for sale. So that's and that's all for the Health Center Theater project, which is also, they have a general contractor selected, they have a architect selected, and that process now is on its way. So their intention, cross your fingers, would be next late summer 2024. So in 2 years, pretty much from now, they're hoping to be having their first show. So we'll see how that works out. The doTERRA site is really nice in the sense that a lot of it's already developed. They already have utilities stubbed into this piece of property. The parking lot's already built. I mean, there's some parts of that are really going to speed up this process of what something like that would normally take. So it's a great project. The mayor and I are part of the committee that as they move forward on the design and those types of things, we'll just keep you up to speed on what's going on there. On July 26th, we have a couple things going. These are both, I've sent calendar invites. One is our mid-year retreat, which we're going to do a 2-hour lunch meeting where we will go over and review the things that the city council asked for staff to do back in February of our initial annual retreat. So we'll review all those items. We'll get you caught up on projects, and we'll talk about where we are, and then just open it up for council. If there's other things that you want to have on staff's radar or other things that we need to discuss, just let us know. So that's going to be a busy day because also at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 that evening will be our open house for our citizens to come in and ask questions regarding the property tax proposal. Now that is something that will be handled by staff and by our firm that we're working for, our consulting firm, X Factor. So we'll be able to take care of that. You guys can pop in or handle that however you want. But I just want to let you know, staff's got that handled as far as that response. But if you want to attend for the full 2 hours, you can. If you want to swing by for a minute or two, you can. If you have other things going on that evening, just rest assured we have that taken care of.
What day was that again?
That's the 26th, so that's Tuesday the 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. And if I need to, I can resend you were in Italy, Sid, when I sent the calendar invite, so if you need to, I can resend it to you. The week after that, which will be Tuesday, August 2nd, will be our public hearing for the truth in taxation process. So this is required by law that if the city council is going to propose a property tax increase, then we have a public hearing. So also by law, we're not allowed to have any other public hearings that evening. Our intention would be that that will be our only agenda item for the evening. If there are any other agenda items, it will just be items that really can't be pushed for another couple weeks, but they will not be included with a public hearing. And then 2 weeks after that, on August 16th, if the city council chooses to follow through in whatever manner on the proposed property tax, then that meeting will be on August 16th for the council to adopt really the property tax budget at that point. So that's kind of our calendar for the next 2 months in regards to what we have going on. Is there, have any questions for me on that?
Any questions, council?
I think, Mayor, for the remainder of our work session, we can review the items on the agenda for our city council meeting. We do not have any public hearings today. So, and most of these items are fairly minor in nature. Probably the biggest one will be the site plan that Daniel can show to you. So we do have a few minutes. Let's review all that, and then when we get into our meeting, we can just ask you if there's, we'll give a very brief overview, and if you have any questions, then we'll, other than that, we can just move through our policy session pretty quick, so.
So it looks like the first one is, Daniel, do you want to come and give us 10A? Got all the good stuff in the Grove?
I think so. No, yes, I have the other one. This one is not going.
Sid, did your calendar, when you came back, was it
It's all
crazy?
messed up.
It is,
Yeah.
Isn't
it's
that
like if you're living on Italian time, then it's great,
Yeah.
but if I'm in Utah, I
Yeah.
don't wanna have a meeting.
I don't want to
in
connect to the thing because sometimes he.
It was all messed up,
I
yeah.
don't know why.
So what I did was, I just would make a note of all
Yeah,
the things
we're
I
going
needed
on.
to input,
Mm-hmm.
and when I got home, I
Switched it over. Mm-hmm. Well, my phone got stolen on the metro, and I can't get access to my city email or anything while I was there. Out of my purse.
Did you get it back?
I just had to go buy a new phone. It was not a good day, but that was the only thing that went wrong. So, yeah,
Italian is right around with
yeah,
your social media on.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I get a lot of notifications. So, but so yeah, so Scott, I'll jump on and get access and everything so I can get caught up. So,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and if you're, well, you probably don't know what you're missing, but.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing though.
Absolutely. You had a good,
Yeah. I'll take
better
full advantage of
vacation,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I spent a day in Copenhagen after Paula lost her purse with our passports in it because she wouldn't let me hold my passports.
Did you get him back?
Well, we found her purse, okay? Someone had seen it in the cathedral and then he had another meeting to go to, so we didn't, but we did find it after we had been at the embassy trying to get a new passport.
In Italy, you're not
So we
gonna
could get back on the ship.
Mayor, council, this is
Okay.
an area of the, I'll jump in and say, last time I went to Mexico, someone stole my cell phone too. So we shouldn't go abroad, outside the US if we want to keep our phones. Yep.
Portugal, somebody stole my swimsuit. Yes.
That has never happened to me.
Was it on you?
This is the area of the Grove. We're gonna get familiar with it right now. This is Evermore, and right here is where the Grove station is. Okay, we have the food trucks. This is Hija Farms, and the site is gonna be right here. So we have the Grove Station, and between Grove Station, right now it's an empty piece of land, and then Hija Farms is right here. What the applicant is proposing is a multi-use type of a building. The building is gonna have 3 different uses. It's gonna have a produce. They're gonna sell produce. It's gonna be a restaurant, and also they're gonna hold events right there, like a reception center. Okay. I have a better image, but the image that I have is very zoomed in, so that's why I show you the map, just to give us an idea of the location. This is the specific area where the business will be located, the new building will be located, okay? So right now, as we can take this is the boulevard, and north is going this way, okay? This is north, and this is south, so this is North County Boulevard. So this is where the building is gonna be located. It's gonna be facing the boulevard, and as you guys can see, we have a limited number of parking stalls. It's about 30-something parking stalls, meaning that the occupancy of the building is gonna be limited by the number of parkings existing. As we can take a look at it, there's a big, large area right here that eventually can be used as a parking, but at this point, that area is not part of this site plan. Probably in the future, the area can be improved and they can put some asphalt and they can be used as parking. But right now, the occupancy of the building will be limited to the parking that they're showing right there. The access is gonna be on the north portion of the property, okay? This is the building. All these areas right here are very well landscaped, and the building will be located right on this portion of the site. If we take a better look at the actual, this is how the building will look at. These are the doors, and when I do my presentation, probably I'll change the images a little bit. We're gonna have, the building has the idea to look like an old farm type of a building. So it has some silos on it. And the restaurant is gonna be in one of the silos, the store for products in the other one, and the reception center will be around the building, okay? So let me see, that's what I'm telling you, that again, this is the boulevard, which is called right here 2000 West, but the boulevard runs right here. And we have a little bit of parking in this area, but it's completely landscape. So we have a buffer and the building in the back. So it will follow the similar criteria in design as the rest of the sites that we have in that area. Just the architecture is a little different than what we're used to it, but they're following the pattern of creating type of a farm style type of a building. The design review board looked into this. They have some questions regarding the materials. It went to the planning commission. The planning commission thought they were appropriate for the site and for the purpose of the building. So they both agree on the recommendation of approval, which I'll tell you guys later a little bit more about that. But this is kind of like the idea, the site plan of what they're proposing. Again, that's the landscape. I'm gonna twist this image so that can help us see it a little better. The floor plan, as we can see again, this is one silo. That's where the store will be located. The other silo is where the restaurant will be located, and the venue for the reception center in the middle. At this point, the use of the beautiful building will be limited by the number of parking stalls, with the option to eventually increase it by creating more parking on the east side of the site plan. So that's what I have, Mayor and Council.
Okay, thanks, Daniel.
No, not specific, no. New era cuisine. No, I don't know. We'll ask them when they're here.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Dion, do you want to come up and tell us about, apparently to be buried, I have to be in a subdivision? Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah. So a few years back, the state made a requirement for us to plat our our cemeteries. We had all the work completed prior to the expansion project, and we just wanted to wait until we had that expansion project to include it in the plat. So this is just as part of the state process. And if I remember right, we don't report to the state anymore, right? Just to the county. So we used to report to the state. Oh, nice. So we don't report to them, but as part of that, they wanted to have a plat of our cemetery lots. So that's what this is.
So we just have, so everything we've got down now is the old part A and B, or is it just A? I mean, is that the A part of that, and then the
So
B's?
from first east to first west
Okay,
is A through D.
okay,
And then we jump down in the new section, it's E, F, and G. And then when we expand in
Oh,
the
okay.
future, we'll go H, I, J, whatever we come up with, so.
okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you. And Tina, what can you tell us about our ballot box? We're excited about this.
Well, you should be, because we're gonna get some money because of it. So it's an interlocal agreement between us and the county with regard to the ballot box located on the northeast corner of the City Hall building. We were required to install a security camera for monitoring, and this allows them to reimburse us for the costs of that. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just, we agree to have the ballot box there, we agree to secure it in a certain manner and maintain it, and they're gonna pay for the camera. So, not too hard. And then the next item is the Evermore local consent, and they're asking for local consent for a special event they're doing on July 14th. It's a corporate event where they will be serving alcohol. They send us a brief description. They will be selling packages. So they're gonna serve dinner, and then they're gonna have packages with different types of snacks, and they'll have optional beer and wine available, and then they will also have some alcohol in the park that they're gonna provide in order to control the amount. They're gonna give customers tokens and limit the customers to 3 tokens each, so that will prevent over-serving. Other than that, I don't know that any of the other details are important for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
With that, unless the council has anything else they want to discuss in our work session, I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn from a work session. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Will now be adjourned till 6 o'clock.